Hey.
What's up?
That was the quickest 2 minutes ever.
Yep. Well, by the time I went there and fixed the drink and come back, it was about 4 seconds left.
So what's been going on in your world?
Heat, and more heat. But luckily, about the next 5-6 days, we showing maybe mid 80s.
We've been getting a little bit of rain.
That's what we got coming with that mid 80s.
Couple days. It's just been a few hours a day, right? Or maybe an hour or two at the most, where it just rains for a little while, and it's been keeping the heat down a bit, but still not friendly when you go out, you know?
No, not at all. Not with that humidity. Now, yesterday we didn't get any rain at all at work, but we got a lot of lightning. So we had to scope all the cranes in, boom stuff down, and we ended up leaving an hour early. But I wasn't complaining.
Yeah, a little bit of time off every now and again doesn't hurt.
Nope.
The other side of the coin for me right now, I've had too much time off and I need to get back to work. So, you know, I put out a feeler to sell a couple colonies. I said I would sell up to 40 colonies. Nobody really, one person messaged me. I can't say nobody did. One person did, but it wasn't about them buying it. It's about them sharing it with their bee club. And I was like, I don't care or whatever. But, you know, people say, why you want to sell 40 colonies? Well, it's easy. Cash flow, you know, that's what it comes down to.
Cash flow, and you're not having to do as much feeding through the dearth. So
yeah,
you kind of make money and save money at the same time.
I really haven't I've got feed. I just haven't put any out. I mean, I probably need to. I took those 12 colonies out of here, and they seem to be doing pretty well. The people that have the property called me this weekend. They said, the bees are all in our goat feeder. I'm like, well, yeah, about that. That's probably going to happen, even though there's ponds right nearby. They're opportunists, right? So they're gonna go wherever's closest and easiest for them.
Well, my number 4 yard, that's why I ended up moving it back. Well, 2 reasons I moved it back home. One, that was my furthest yard away. It would take me 25, 30 minutes to get there. But they had cattle, horses, and pigs there. And they were always getting in the pig feed and different stuff when they got out there. And I was just ready to get them back home. That way I wasn't driving as far.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I get off work, I barely have time to do anything in my own yard, much less 3 other yards besides home yard.
I do like the fact that when I go to the out yard, I can work all 12 of those right when they're here, I kind of have to work them in stages. This rack today, that rack tomorrow, and sometimes you think you worked a colony and you didn't work a colony, and then it kind of falls through the cracks until the next time you get it. So having them separated, at least I know if I work the whole yard, I'm getting everybody, and then come on back to the house that way.
I was trying to somewhat make a schedule on my calendar on the computer or my phone and say, hey, I'm going to do this yard this day, this one that day, and put basically a little check mark next to the task. And it still don't always work out. You forget to do something, then you don't put the check. You don't know if you did it. You go back and do something again.
Or you get through when you're like, oh, this one looks like it needs another super. Damn, supers are back at the house.
Yep. That's one reason I'm wanting to get everything just moved back to my home yard. That way I can run all the way down that line, do everything, and be done with it.
So that's
you don't forget stuff at home or accidentally leave a hive tool in another yard.
Yeah, I mean, right now with that yard, I mean, there's not much to do, right? Just I did put appy tablets on them all, get them ready to go that way. And other than that, not much else, just I did split. Actually, I took an extra nuke out there and I dropped it in that colony that I thought was empty, and it was. And then I needed to boost that colony. So once I put them in there, I went through my other colonies as I was doing inspection and pulling frames of brood out and dropping them in that colony. So they have brood hatching out. They have what they need to make a queen. Well, they should have a queen with the nuke, actually. So they should have plenty as long as they don't baller, some of those other bees. So we'll see next time I go out there. They'll either have queen cells or they'll have eggs in there. You say that every time. DC. You say that every time.
That's me. I always say I'm going to do something and I'll forget about it. And it's like, when I do think about it, I'm in a position or somewhere I can't get to do what I needed to do then. But then when I do get back to where I can do it, I forget about it.
Peabody's Apiary said, had a great question come up at our local meeting. When do you feed heavy syrup for winter store? September, October, or even August? I know this depends on your location. To be honest with you, I have not fed straight 2-to-1 at all, ever here.
I would say it depends on if you're further north or south also. I mean, that goes along with that location, but down here in the south, we really don't have to feed that heavy stuff.
I've got a question on behalf of Matt from Engraving with Matt. Matt called me up today. He said he had a colony that's loaded with bees and it's loaded with honey, but it looks like all of the honey is fermenting inside of the frames. It's bubbling and stuff. I've never had that happen myself. And he was wondering if anybody had any experience with that. I told him I haven't. And I, of course I asked the question as well, do you have hive beetles up there? Because the only time I've seen that kind of thing is when hive beetles have gotten into it. But I said, have you been feeding them? Yeah, he says it's been raining a lot, but that's the only colony he's had it. So that's what I was thinking too, is that maybe it's just moisture in there.
Now, I mean, depending on how much rain he's getting, if he can get out there at least on some days and kind of slide those boxes side to side, alternating, put a little air gap in there, that'll help get a lot of that moisture.
Yeah, he did say he had the introducer on the smallest one. I said, just yank that thing out right now. If they're not robbing and stuff, just yank it out and let them.
You need some airflow.
The airflow, right? Better. So that's I think that's what he's going to try to do. But if it's already fermenting, there's nothing you can do about it now, right? Just
as long as it's not too bad. Now, I've had a bucket before that you could just barely start to smell that fermenting because the moisture content was too high. But my local commercial apiary loaned me their heating band. He said, put it on there for 2 to 3 days with a towel, and that extra moisture come out, and you won't smell that no more. After a couple of days, that, like I said, it wasn't real strong, but you could smell a little bit of fermenting. And after a few days, that went away. I tasted honey. Everything tasted perfectly fine and nothing wrong with it.
I can't believe you bees. I did my own. I've got my own laser. So I did my own boxes.
As far as Peabody's question here, we will get a fall flow most years. Now, depending on how much rain we get late summer, if it beats down our goldenrod here. As long as it don't beat it down, yeah, we'll get a goldenrod flow here. I'm in South Louisiana, by the way.
We'll probably get one too. If this rain, if we can just keep getting these small spurts of rain and keep it kind of not 100 degrees outside, should start blooming in the next month or so. Start getting one.
We've already got stalks starting to come up, but I mean, it's far from bloom time.
David says they've been without power for 5 hours now. I know it rained hard a little bit today, and I saw somebody had a tree blow over in their yard, but I didn't notice that here at my place, but yeah, it's been better. I mean, it was supposed to be 109 today, but the rain kept that kind of in check. And matter of fact, the forecast that I was looking at that shows me my temperature most of the time doesn't even show that it was supposed to rain today. But yeah, we got some. So it was a good thing.
I'm showing we've been in the 90s and mid to upper 90s some days, but for looks like about the next 7 days, we're going to be in the mid 80s with a minimum of 50% chance of rain every day. Most days it's 80%.
Rodney just did a presentation at the North Carolina Beekeepers Association. Nice. Nice. Let me see. Yeah, you can get a brand made too. Those work pretty well from what I see. You got the little propane torch and heat them up and then stamp them in there. Let's see. But other than that, I mean, there's not much. I'm not going to do too much with my bees. I'm just trying to hold out and let them get what they can and store what they can. And then if I need to slam the feed to them, I'll put the feed to them. But otherwise, I'm going to have to start buying bags of sugar like everybody else does, which is not fun.
Now, my problem, I still hadn't got out there and pulled the rest of my supers. Now, I did go cut grass Sunday, and when I passed by one hive, you could see a little bit of stuff basically hanging out the front entrance, like shreds and stuff. And that was one of the hives that I had all the boxes alternating and let them dry out a little faster, and bees going in and out the crack. So
robbing it out.
I believe it got robbed out.
Well, it just got reallocated back to the colonies, right?
Yeah, they at least hopefully put that honey on my other colonies, because I still had 3 supers on that one. And I didn't even go back out there to pull the box and look in it. I just went by with mower, done what I had to do. But I'm sure those 3 supers are completely empty now. But they may have put it in my other colonies, and I'll get out there and get them one day.
Daisy says he's getting a second truckload of water for his pool tomorrow because they haven't had any rain. We got a little bit today, enough to fill their watering vessels back up, or at least put some in it.
I got a couple of old galvanized tubs I usually keep in the backyard, and I'll put some stuff in there and fill them up with water.
Let's see. Well, let's see.
Ready for me to drop it?
Yeah, drop the invite, and then I'll pin it, and we'll see if we can get this. There we go. Should be pinned.
Just get that time of year where, at least further south, we're not having very much to do right now, and to talk about what we've been doing or not.
It's mostly maintenance stuff for me, trying to get stuff cleaned up, and that's kind of if I want to get out there and sweat for a while. And I think we got Joey.
Yeah, that's another Louisiana boy.
Hey, Joey.
Not too bad. How you doing?
Fairly well.
That heat
Fairly
getting you
well.
over there?
Oh, it like they got me yesterday. I was trying to pull off all my leftover boxes. Almost got too hot.
You got to watch that.
Hey, Russell.
I believe it was, Bob, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago when I got overheated real bad? I think it may have been 3 seasons ago. I was drinking water all day long. I mean, big glasses of it, nonstop. But I didn't have anything to eat with it and no electrolytes. And I laid up in the bed for almost 2 weeks after that with flannels on, 2 blankets and a hoodie in the summer, and still curled up, thought I was freezing.
Just can't cool down.
Yeah, that's one thing I do before I go in the yard. I eat a good square meal. It may not always sound like the right thing, but I might eat some eggs and some orange juice.
But as long as you don't eat nothing real heavy.
And plenty of water.
You don't want to eat no big steak and then go out there in that heat.
Right, that's right. But I'm not going to stay out there too long. And I did pretty much what I wanted to do. I said, well, there's one more. Let me go do one more. It seemed like that one more took almost as long as all of them. I was moving slower, and I still, once you get done, you still have all you picking up to do. And, you know, you get hot, you don't get to thinking about that.
You can tell I skipped that step in my yard. Picking up part. That stuff just sits around. I
did okay. I drank a lot of water and everything was fine. So I just got in a cool place and sat there and rested.
That's the problem. I come inside, it's not cool in here either. Say the electric company ate me up this month. Next month it'll be probably worse.
Well, that's my problem. I sit in the AC at work all day. So you come home and you get that heat. For you to go from a cool weather or staying cool all the time and then going into heat, they say it takes you about a week for your body to acclimate and get used to that. So me going from the AC all day and all night in the house to going out in the yard for even an hour, I mean, I'm just drained. And then Renee, she works at that cafe by the house. She's brought my little digital thermometer would work with her one day. And they've got multiple ACs in there, but in the back by the fryers and all that, 127 degrees some days she's had in the middle of the summer. So when she comes home from work, she don't want to come sit in the AC. She'll sit on the porch to 10 or 11 o'clock at night before she comes in for bed. She said, because if she comes in and sits in the AC and gets too used to it, it's going to be even rougher on her the next day at work.
Yeah, it's been, 100 degrees outside and it'll be 87 inside.
Well, you know I'm not a spring chicken. I'm 68 years old. But there was a time when I used to work. You'd go outside in days like this. You'd go outside as long as you was in the shade to cool down, coming out of some of them paper mills, because you might be working somewhere where it's 120 degrees in there. You'd have to come out in the 90-degree weather to cool down.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't take that kind of stuff no more. It don't take but just a little while for me to have enough. And I'm done.
That, and then once you get overheated real bad, your body cannot handle that heat again, even if it's the following year. I mean, it literally does something internal to you. And I've been overheated twice real bad.
It takes several years to get over that.
It's the Daisy. Steve said, Joseph, you're a baby. Yeah, I just paid my electric bill. It was $544. And we don't have a ginormous house, right? It's just an old house. It would have been more, but we put the insulation in the floor last year. So that, I think, helped out a little bit.
I'm trying to figure out, is he doing some cooking there?
Oh, come on.
A little boil back there.
Is that some crabs or you got giant mites in there?
No, it's some crabs.
That's definitely not a wax melter.
I don't know. It might work out pretty good with that basket. You pick it up and all your trash is stuck in there.
Hey, DC.
What you been up to, Brad?
Oh, not too much. Doing a few little things. I've been trying to set me up another queen hive starter finisher to make my fall queens.
Already?
Yeah, and I just grafted yesterday. So
Now you being in the South too and doing that, how many dragonflies you got to run your place right now?
well, not too many right now. I've been keeping watch a bit, and so far this year, only ones I've seen so far is the ones with the colorful wings. They got like the bluish wings.
Kind of like an iridescent color in them.
Yeah. I've seen one or two of those, but usually like in the afternoon, a normal summer, the backyard you can watch because my backyard is pretty open, and you can see them by the hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I haven't seen none lately.
I'm not even that close to water, and I've got them all over the place. They're hunting my bees. They are hunting.
I saw a swarm yesterday.
Hey Russell, hey Mike.
Yeah,
Hey,
was it one of your colonies or?
Well, I was in the bee yard when I saw it, but I heard the noise and I looked up and I saw them on a limb, and they were coming off that limb, and they actually went toward my long hives and flew all the way through the yard and then went away and then come back to that limb. So I don't know where they come from, but that's all I cared about. I didn't want just looking at them. I didn't want to try to catch them. Some people like to catch them swarms in July. I'm not going to mess with them. I ain't messing with those. It had to come land in my hands for me to mess with them.
It's not a swarm, but my mom, she goes to the COA, Council on Aging, a couple times a week. A bunch of older people get together and all. Anyway, one of the people up there called her the other day here at the house. I believe it was Saturday or Sunday one, and said, "Hey, your son does bees, don't he?" I said, "Well, yeah, part-time, but anyway." Their brother-in-law over in Gonzales, Joey knows where that's at. It's about 15 minutes from me. They got some bees they need removed. I said, "I don't go in buildings no more. I don't cut nothing open." "Oh, no, it ain't in a building." I'm like, "Well, where's it at?" "Oh, it's in a tree."
Inside the tree.
I said, "Hanging on a branch or inside of it?" They said, "No, inside." I said, "Oh, that's a trap out."
Yeah.
I said, "Give them my number. I might answer." They tried to call me and I didn't answer, but they left me a message.
I talk to everybody into leaving them alone.
Yeah, I might try to run over there this weekend to help them out, because I mean it is an older couple, so go over there and just make sure it ain't, I guess, stinging them or anything, and I'll try to trap them out best I can. But I told the guy that called to start with, I told him it's nothing guaranteed. I said it could take a week, it could take 3 weeks, and you still might not get them out.
Could take 6 weeks.
Yeah, but I might try to run by there this weekend and see what I can do, how bad it's going to be or not.
Yeah, they take a long time. Been my experience anyway.
Well, I mean, to me, I would look at it depends on how big the tree is. Can I drill a hole in the backside of it and put a little honey robber, honey bandit, or whatever it may be in the smoker and pump some smoke in there, or just drill a little hole at an angle and put a couple drops in and let it run in there and run them out the front.
What I found on the tree trap outs that I've tried to do is that you only think they only got one entrance, but they got another spot always.
Yeah.
It seems like they're going in and out of.
I mean, if anything, I would hang a little 5-frame nuke right next to the entrance, maybe put a comb on it, and if the tree's small enough, try to drill a hole in the backside. And I mean, see if I could get them out for them, but it's nothing I'm going to just spend weeks and weeks and weeks trying. I'll go over there and set it up one time and go back maybe 2 times after that, because I do pass by there on the way home from work. And if I don't see no progress, I'll just pull the box, tell them they in there. I can't get them out.
So the tree
Charlie?
Where's
What's
what?
that, Joey?
Charlie.
I don't know where he's at tonight. No telling. He might have had a meeting. A lot of people have meetings on Tuesday nights, and they come in after. Like if sometimes Brad up in Canada will come in on a Tuesday night, but it's
I think it's usually Brad, Charlie, and Paul most of the time come in late on Tuesdays. Well, not every Tuesday.
just depends. Depends what they got going. And I know Brad's been busy up there. You know, they got daylight like almost all night, so they work bees as long as they can.
Anybody talk to Ed lately?
I haven't seen Ed lately.
I need to give him a call or a text because I think it's been 2 weekends in a row, 2 Saturdays I hadn't seen a live.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah, I haven't seen one.
You know, and another thing with lives that maybe a lot of people don't understand, but man, it doesn't seem like it's much work, and it's really not. But when you're doing it every week consistently, you'll be surprised how many things pop up, right? Like on a Tuesday night, or like my daughter says, "Hey, my husband's got off for the next 10 days. Y'all want to come down?" Well, then it's like, well, I got Tuesday night tonight. Can I be back before Tuesday, or do I need to call that night off, or what? You know, it just becomes an issue sometimes doing things. It's not as fun as it looks all the time.
Like you say, it's not real hard, but it is work at the same time.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I'm just, as far as bees, just trying to straighten up, mow around the hives, move the bees out there, and pretty much that's it. Just monitor them, make sure they have a queen, and keep it moving.
Are they still brooding up good?
Yeah, they seem to be doing okay. You know, they're not, obviously with the dearth and no nectar coming in, they're not as apt to brood up, but they're still laying. I mean, they're still producing. So we'll let them roll.
I see Peabody's apiary there talking about he may start doing some videos pretty soon. I'm going to go ahead and give you a sub there. That way you on my list. As soon as you post a video, I'll know.
Who's that?
Peabody's apiary.
Did you sell honey? Who's it? Oh, he's talking to Russell there, I guess. That'll be good. I like watching videos. Be a good thing. Brad's got the floating head in the crab boil there.
Peabody said he's worked full time as a lineman. Much respect there, buddy. I've been an electrician all my life, but I never have what it took to go up work on a pole on power line. It ain't my job.
You got to get up there in the rain, the snow, the heat. Nah, not for me.
I got a lot of good friends as linemen, and I have much respect for them.
Me too. I've been shocked twice where I got knocked out both times. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, another Maryland boy. He up there with Charlie.
Yeah.
Maybe Charlie's the guy they arrested for shooting the president. Maybe that's why he's not here.
No, he was too skinny.
See Charlie crawling on the roof. I don't mean to make light of that situation. It was not good at all, but I don't understand having been in. I can't go pay my car taxes with almost having to have a cavity search. I don't know how they have a rally in the Secret Service and the FBI and everybody else don't have all those buildings cleared. It's kind of crazy.
What got me, the lady that runs the Secret Service, they asked her yesterday or today why she didn't have anybody on that roof, and
because it had a slope. Is it dangerous?
The roof was too dangerous.
That was the stupidest answer I ever heard. It's been
So
better
she put them inside the building So they were inside while the shooter was crawling on top.
Couldn't hear that, I'm sure.
I from what I could see, the slope of that building, I could have rolled up there. It was so
It was
flat.
a flat roof. It was less than a 4-pitch. Probably
yeah,
a 2.
yeah. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
How you doing there, Brad?
It's a cat. It's on this cat walking across my apiary. This cat's about 10 feet tall. Sorry. I just saw that.
Just walking in on you.
Yep. I'm doing good. I've been putting out fires for about 3 weeks, and I think I've got most of it under control now. I got to work hard to keep it under control, though.
How many boxes you got on them now?
Most. Well, there's quite a few still have 2 boxes, but some have 3, and there's actually a very few have 4 deeps right now. So it's looking up. It's looking up now. You know, I've just put supers on, so you know, if there's 3 boxes, one of them is mostly empty, but it's coming in.
It's going to be loaded down before you know it.
Thought that was a bear.
Cougar.
That's my kitty bear. Isn't she a cutie? She's
Yeah.
cute. She don't like to be picked up though, so
It won't be long now. Boots will be right there because he can't have her right there.
yeah, he's just waking up. He's in his bed in the corner and he's just waking up. He'll be on me. He hears me talking, I think, and then he thinks, oh, it's time to go and sit on him.
There you go, Bob.
Yep. So that means your flow pretty much just gave in if they're going crazy on them because there's nothing else out there for them. I was trying to find a picture. I've got a picture somewhere on my Facebook of me up on a telephone pole and
Yeah,
power pole.
thanks, Catherine. It does look. It looks a lot better than it did 2 months ago.
And I can't find it. Too many photos.
I guess 3 months ago. 3 months ago, there was 3 viable colonies out there. It looks pretty amazing now. That's a miracle. That's nothing short of a miracle for that to happen. I could not have done it without everyone's support. It's been a lot of work. It's definitely been a lot of work, but to grow from 3 to 100 and something in that short period of time. Yeah, after I mowed it, I love keeping it mowed. It looks so much nicer and nicer to work in when it's mowed. This picture I took, it doesn't really work because you can't really see the apiary, but
I mowed 8 acres around my bee yard, but the bee yard's still this tall.
It sounds like me. I ride my mower everywhere, and then it gets close to the bees. I'm like, I'll get that later, and then go out and mow my lawn again. Oh wow, the bee yard's
Peabody.
terrible.
Appreciate that.
I'll get that fixed up, and then
Thanks, Catherine.
I actually did buy a mower. I bought one. I didn't want to. Matter of fact, I think I complained to Brad about
You wanted to.
about the cordless electric
Yeah.
battery operated mowers, but they didn't have the cheap.
Talking about a push or a ride?
It's a push mower, and they didn't have the cheap gas push mower. It was like $369 for a gas push mower, or $329 for the battery operated one, and it runs off the same batteries that my weed eater and lawnmower and all that run on, right? So I was like, well, I'm only going to use it to mow around my beehives, it might be better that it's not a gas mower. And so I just got that one.
Let me know how it goes. I'm interested in that kind of thing.
It cuts well.
Yeah.
I don't know why they put a bagger on it, because it evidently doesn't generate enough force to actually fill the bagger up. It's just a neat looking attachment on it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it works pretty good.
Well,
That's all I used in my bee yards. I didn't use the battery mower, but I had the battery weed eater, because I tried taking a gas one in there, and they didn't like that high pitched noise and the exhaust, and they come out and let you know quick. But as soon as I use that battery weed eater, I could go right up against a hive, no problem.
yeah, I think it depends on what time of the year too, though, because I have a battery, the Walt weed eater, and I was thinking, oh man, I'm safe. I went in there and started weed eating. They jumped me like fire. Yeah, the vibrations, I think, if you let the spool hit the ground around the hives and stuff, they come balling out of there.
They come out and told you no?
Yeah, and as soon as it's not, as long as you don't kick any grass up against the entrance, but if any grass starts hitting that entrance, look out.
I think that the light bulb just went on. I think that might be why my apiary is so much different, because I have my entrances facing each other. They're about 18 inches apart, because I mow all the way around my hives with my tractor, and I'm fine. I've actually mowed my entire apiary without even wearing a veil, and they're fine. And I think that has a lot to do with
because
that entrance is I'm never right in front of an entrance.
I have some that they face each other, but it's like 8 foot apart.
Yeah.
And when I pass my lawnmower, I always pass the belly side against the hive front entrance, but the other side is kicking grass.
Yeah, you blow grass at the entrance. They don't like that at all.
And they come balling out on that other side. Now, the ones that I'm not blowing grass against, I could just zoom right past them.
Yeah.
But after I turn around and back to catch the other side, they already out the hive. And they looking for something. They looking for the guy on the lawnmower.
You're probably right, Brad. My bees just hate the mower and the trimmer.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten so used to that configuration, I don't really think of it. When other people talk about their situations, I've gone to hobbyist place, to help them do something, and I just start to get stung right away, because the entrances are right out there, and you can walk around in front of my hives. It's hard to actually walk in front of an entrance. I don't see any issues. DC asked about robbing. No robbing. I've never had really any robbing issues anyway. But I think the only issue that I seem to have is, I think mating success is, I'm suspecting, is not as good. Maybe getting back to that entrance because it's so close to the others or something like that. I don't know. But I seem to have poor mating success with the entrances like that. But if I'm running mating nukes, I don't do that.
Just be like me and put them on hive stands where they're all crotch level, so when they come out pissed off, they know exactly where to go.
Yeah, no, they'll
wear your shorts out there.
They'll beard in there, and no real issues at all. And it's really nice because I have 3 sides of that hive that I can work with impunity, and I can work on the side of the hive and manage my frames like this, right? I see everybody on YouTube, they're always reaching across, trying to pull frames, and that's ergonomically a nightmare, and whatnot. So it's really nice to work from the side where you can pull your frames. And that's something that equipment manufacturers don't really offer you, but there's no reason you can't, if you want to manage your hive from the rear, get a different kind of bottom board that has the entrance 90 degrees, right? So that the entrance is on the wide side. So then you could stand behind that hive and manage your frames this way, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't think it would be too much of a problem or work wise to put just instead of an entrance reducer on what the bottom board that you already have, just put a solid board across it and then cut you a little notch on one of your sides. And like you said, be able to work it from the side, and then they're coming in and out the long side of it.
Yeah, you should be able to modify what you have. But it's just kind of funny, isn't it, that you don't ever see equipment built that way, do you? I
I
don't really
hadn't
see
seen it.
anything built that way.
But that's pretty much how I work my hives. Like you talking about, I'm having to stand behind it and then kind of reach long ways.
And I'm not standing behind my hive to manage it either. I'm standing beside it. When I'm managing the hive, the entrance is right here, like on this side. So it's not like I'm managing it and the entrance is on the far side. And I don't really have a lot of problems because for the most part, guard bees can't see me. And if I feel, a little nervous, I can always just shift a little bit toward the back, and I've got the entire back that there's no bees at all. So I remember I watched video that Randy Oliver did for the National Honey Show, and he talked about that. He talked about a lot of things, and one of the things he talked about was 2 hives on a stand, only 2 hives on a stand. He said that way for many, many reasons, but one of them was then you can manage it from the side. You can manage this hive from the side, go around the other side, manage it from the side. And then he mentioned that specifically, grabbing those frames like this, and instead of reaching across to get the far side.
Now, like David said here, as long as it's not a long hive, but if you're building your own, I mean, I guess you could turn it to where you can make your frame hold the other way. You just have to have runners in there to hold the frame up.
But then you'd essentially have a bunch of Langstroths just strapped together in one long box.
Pretty much. Roy said he's going to invent a lazy Susan bottom board.
Something I kind of discovered. It was my second summer keeping bees, and I was working at an outyard, and I had my little tractor there. I don't really remember why, because I don't generally take my tractor just for a management visit. I guess maybe was I pulling honey or something, but I only had 10 colonies, so I only had 5 of my 2-way pallets there, and the bees, I think the hives were a little bit shaded, and the bees were just pissy, right? And so I learned that I could get on my tractor and I'd go up to this pallet and I just pick it up and I back it up about 50 feet. I set it down and I do all my management, because now the bees don't know where home went, right? All the old bees. And I could look back and there's just this cloud of bees that don't know where to go because their home is gone, and I could do all my management in peace, and then I go set the hive back down, and they go, oh, there it is, and pile inside. So that was kind of neat thing to learn, when I was just second-year beekeeper.
Now, Vincent said he does build his bottom boards with the entrance on the long side.
Is there any downsides to that, Vince? They call one the warm way and one the cold way, I think, is what they call it. And I think on the long side, they call it the cold way. Or maybe I got that backwards.
That one, I'm not sure.
I never have understood why they didn't build the boxes and the bottom board square. That way you could turn them whichever way you wanted to on that bottom board.
Yeah. A National Hive is square in UK.
Is it?
Yeah. So here we go. You
We're
knew
doing
this
them wrong
was going to
over
happen.
here then.
Yeah, the dimensions of a Langstroth hive don't seem to make any sense at all.
It don't.
Really.
It don't make sense at all to me.
Like, why is it, 9 and 9/16 or 9 and 5/8 deep or something? Lumber is 9 1/2 or 9 1/4. You have to get a 1x12 to actually get something that's wide enough.
How you doing tonight, Mr. Doug?
All right. Brad, how long
Yes,
were those queens from James? How long were they on transport?
I think he sent them off Monday, midday Monday, and I got them Wednesday morning.
Funny they were like we use mail quite often. We'll have
Yeah.
4 and 5 days they'll be in transit.
Now, how do you prep those? What do you put in the box?
They will have, I don't what, 5 or 6 attendants in with the queen, and that's it.
Okay. So he had attendants in the queen. I don't know that there was 5 or 6. There's maybe 3,
Okay,
maybe
that
4. And there was some of the attendants were still alive. A lot of them weren't.
What happened? Your queens didn't make it.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of mortality. He put it in the red battery box, the JZBZ battery box,
Mm-hmm.
and he put attendants in the battery box, and almost all of those attendants were dead. But I don't think they had anything. They didn't have a damp sponge. They didn't have candy to keep them going. And yeah, so I think he's including those 2 things with this next shipment he sent out yesterday. Pick them up tomorrow.
in the
We'll
main
see.
box, it's ventilated good.
Yeah, he put that battery box, that JZBZ battery box, and there was, I think there was 15 queens in it. So I don't know if it's pretty tight, but then he'd put that inside a larger box that was very well ventilated.
Okay.
So that
One
outside the battery box was an issue.
One difference maybe we get our queens earlier in the year. Maybe this type of year it might get pretty hot in some of those trucks.
And that's the issue. To go from truck from Grand Prairie to Edmonton, that's a long time. That's a long drive.
Yeah.
So that's probably the worst part of the trip. So yeah. Well, we'll see if this next batch, I think he said 25. I suggested that perhaps ditch the battery box and kind of build one, like get a piece of wood and drill holes in it for the cages to sit in, and then space them out a little bit more. Get some attendants, put a sponge, put some candy, something for the attendants to snack on. Hey, he's 18 years old. You let him do whatever he wants, right?
He was saying, quit talking and pay attention to
Yeah.
it.
What's that thing on your face?
When we get them shipped to us, we make sure they get watered as soon as we get them too.
I should take. I didn't take anything with me. I should take water with me to the city, and when I get them at the store, well, I didn't want to open them because I didn't know what was in the box. I didn't know if there was a bunch of bees going to fly out of the box right away when I opened them. So I didn't. I didn't know what it was. Kind of Schrodinger's bees. I didn't know what was in the box till I got home. But I guess I could open them outside and then water them, because I think that's the biggest problem is dehydration, for sure.
Let's put a sponge in there with them.
Yeah. I think he's putting a sponge in this time, so that should help a lot.
Yeah.
So my concern, with the ones that survived is they put up with the same conditions. So are they unharmed? I don't know. They're alive. So we'll have to watch their laying patterns.
I don't think we've ever got them with a courier. We've always got them through mail.
Mail, yeah. It wasn't as fast in the mail. as courier.
No.
Well, hey,
Hey, Peabody's Apiary.
Hey, how you guys doing?
good.
All right, how's it going?
Good. Never been on this thing before.
Always the first time.
You actually did it right the first time too. I don't hear a bunch of feedback and everything.
Yeah.
Good job.
You got the YouTube side shut off.
Yeah.
I had a question. I got a question for you guys about starting a YouTube channel. So
Don't do it.
It's the end of your life.
so what's what kind of stand do you need, or like the necessities to get started?
iPhone.
This is stand 1 and stand 2 for me.
Yeah.
Tripod 1 and 2.
Oh, don't ask Lee. He'll have like a $5,000 shopping list for you.
I just got a GoPro
scare
with
him.
the Volta grip. It's a battery grip that turns into a tripod.
Okay, so you shoot on GoPro.
Let me tell you something about that.
I do GoPro. I do have a tripod. It's a little cheap one the guy gave me. And I have a what's the microphone?
Rode.
You use the
Rode.
I go the Rode.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I use.
Rode. I got the Rode
Wireless too.
wireless too,
Okay.
which gives you two microphones and
two
one
microphones on that
receiver.
one.
That way, if you're interviewing somebody, you can wire them up.
Gotcha.
And then what else do I have? I've got a selfie stick. Don't go cheap. Get something nice when it comes to that. And and then you have the other part of it is your software for your editing. And
Filmora Wondershare.
for more one to share.
That's what I use.
That's what I'm
What
using.
It's about $100, $75 to $100, but the one
DaVinci is free.
DaVinci is free, but hard as hell for me to figure it out.
The
What's it
first
called,
time
Charlie?
you use DaVinci, it can be hard, but once you get used to it, it's not bad. But usually with the free version, you can only export like a 1080 video, which I mean, that's plenty good for YouTube. You don't.
Yeah,
You
but
don't
what I
need
mean that
4K.
is like when you do a transition from one clip to the other clip with Wondershare, you go into your thing and you got the one that says dissolve. You just drag it down, you put it in where the splice is, and you're done. You know, where DaVinci, I never could figure that out how to do that. It was just, I don't know. For me, I found Wondershare to be very easy.
So you
only
said it's
thing-
called Wondershare.
Yeah, Filmora.
Filmora.
It's film. I'm
Be
looking at it.
careful when they send you like an update.
Yeah,
Don't do
because
it.
they'll charge you again.
They will bill you for that update. So
Yeah,
just
they'll
always
send you a thing,
ignore
say,
that.
"Hey, click upgrade," and when you do, you upgrade, but
And
then
then
you can't go
up-
back to where you were, and they're going
Oh,
to
it'll
charge
make
you
you
again.
think. It'll make you think that it just updated and everything's fine. And then you'll do your whole video and you'll get ready to upload it, and it'll make you pay before you can upload your video again.
Yeah, I got Filmora 11. I think it's, what is it, 13 or 14 now, something like that.
13, and they got another update like 13.9 or something.
Now, what has kind of got me YouTube, when you upload to YouTube, what's that program you said to get, Lee? The other one, it's free, that you put all your keywords in and all that stuff.
I just do that through
TubeBuddy
YouTube.
or vidIQ.
Buddy.
Yeah, you can use TubeBuddy or vidIQ, but I just do it on
Yeah.
YouTube. If you scroll down when you upload your video, you scroll down under all your details, and I enter my keywords there.
I guess it's YouTube Buddy or whatever it's called.
Tube Buddy.
Tube
Tube Buddy. It's called.
Tube Buddy.
I use the free Tube Buddy, but only to make. I really only use it to make the thumbnail, just to put the words on the screen.
Well, that was another thing. It used to give you three thumbnails to choose from, and now it only gives you one.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube Buddy.
Hmm.
And Anyway,
YouTube gives you 3 choices. TubeBuddy, they don't let you do too much for the free version.
Yeah,
I guess
you got to
it- I
pay
guess
for that
it's
one.
I guess it's YouTube. But
TubeBuddy
anyway, I
just
only get
allows you to
one.
take
I
a-
only get
take a
one
screenshot.
thumbnail, and then I've learned how to do my where you go through the video and then you say that's the one I want, and it's
Yeah,
that's what it-
I make my thumbnails in Photoshop.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
mine
you
on Canva.
can make your thumbnail in Filmora too, and it'll
Yeah.
save your computer.
What I
Then
do.
you can just upload it up, right?
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of options, and there's a lot of options for us too. But the one thing I will really emphasize, though, Peabody, do you have a real name, or is that your real name?
My name's Ryan. My last
Ryan.
name's
Okay, Ryan. The one thing I'll really emphasize is audio. Video is easy. Video is like I've always used a smartphone. This is my old smartphone, so now I don't have to use my smartphone that I'm trying to take calls on or something. And GoPros or whatever, but audio is your deal. You need to put a little bit of effort into audio. It's not hard to get a wireless microphone that's not super expensive to work. And I don't know about interfacing to GoPros because I've never used them, but I will kind of tell you one thing about the Rode Go 2 microphone set that Charlie was talking about. That's exactly what I use too. It's got kind of a unique feature that sort of saved me a few times. You have that little square transmitter that I pin on my shirt, and then it transmits wirelessly to the receiver that's plugged into my smartphone. However, that little transmitter actually records locally on the device. So if it's turned on, you've got your audio. If anything goes wrong on the far side with the receiver, you mess it up, or you don't turn the thing on, or your cord gets pulled out, or the battery goes dead, all you have to do is go to the microphone, plug it in your computer, download the audio, and then you can stitch that into your final production. I really like that feature. They're a little quirky at times, but overall, they're really, really good product.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
That's
So
like
you're in
most time the
Southern
biggest
Brazil.
thing you need is time.
Yeah, time.
Yeah.
Give you lots of
Yeah.
time. It'll make
Where do you
whatever
live?
you do, it'll take twice as long.
At least that's just to edit it. Then once you upload it,
Yeah.
and
I
get
spent
the
all
YouTube.
afternoon editing a video.
What I recommended
you
to
live,
some people
buddy?
before, they say like they don't know how to edit or upload, or they don't know how they feel in front of a camera. Just because you're recording yourself and you're editing it to learn the process, don't mean that you have to upload that video if you're not happy with yourself.
Absolutely.
Just practice
Absolutely.
standing in front of the camera, because I'll have all the best ideas in the world. Said I'm going to do this, this, and this. As soon as I hit that record button, I freeze up.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know what to say.
Forget it all.
So it don't matter how much you stutter or everything else. Go ahead and record it, edit it, and just get used to that process of being in front of the camera.
That's
You'll
the
get
thing.
more comfortable.
He's
Make
been
sure you
freezing up
record
the
it.
Nightbot system for years now.
Yeah. Make sure you record it. Bob forgot to hit record.
If you're not
I brought
Yeah.
my camera to
Thing
other
and-
yards, and I forgot to bring a memory card with me.
Or you think it's running. Sometimes when it's real hot out, the GoPro it just shut itself off while you're in the middle of recording something.
And get lots of footage, like record everything, because then you can dump everything on the editing room floor. Just pick out the pieces you want. I have a hard time with that, and that's why my videos are so long. I don't know what to cut out. So if anybody has some friendly suggestions, is to cut these pieces out. I've just uploaded another hour-long video.
So Ryan, are you going to use a phone, or are you going to use a GoPro, or have you figured that out yet?
So I would like to use a phone, but the main thing that's been holding me back is I got a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. I'm 30 years old. I run about 50 hives in Southern Maryland, but it's time. So when I go through a hive, I last about 5 minutes at minimum, and I move on to the next one. But I've always been wanting to I've been watching Brad and you, Charlie, and Bob for a long time. I've always
Well,
wanted-
the way that
time.
works, yeah, it takes you. Well, it looks like there's 3 parts to the video. First, there's the intro. That's the first thing you shoot.
Right.
And
Or last.
that's where I'm standing there. Hey guys, we're going to do this and blah, blah,
Hey
blah.
everyone,
Mhm.
Sawmill Charlie here. That's how every video starts.
Yeah,
That's
but
what-
all right,
that's what you
that's,
watch for.
I segment it out. That's my intro, kind of set up what I'm going to do. Now, when I do a video, it's usually a subject that I have a subject in mind that I want to do. And then you have the body of the video, which is you working the hive. Now, how I'll say, hey, let me bring you on up closer to so you can see. I'll say that in the video. Some guys who are fancy, they'll have a camera here for your close up, and they have the camera on the other tripod over there. And I'm like, I can't, I'm not going to go through all that crap and try to what do you call it? Married up together, just so vocally wise, with voice wise and stuff. So when I say, let me bring you on up a little closer, cut. That's the end of that clip. Then I bring the tripod up close to the hive, and I'll, point it down to where I am in the hive. And single hive reach. That's right. So now this is something that I've learned. All right. I'll say, let me bring you up a little closer. Watch my hands. I try to have my hands on the hive. Okay. And then when I bring that camera up and I focus it down, let's say I'll say the lid's off and everything, and the bees are right there. Let's say I have it on the corners of that box. I'll put my hands back in place after I get it focused
I've noticed
in.
that, Charlie, and I've watched your videos and I go, wow, what a clean edit. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's
well, I
really
keep my
cool.
hands there, and then see, now that's the thing about a GoPro. I can talk to I learned that I found out through people. I put my hands there, and then I tell myself, all right, GoPro, start recording. And it goes beep, 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 beep. And then I know it's recording. And then I continue on. And then I wind up. I try to put my hands back in the same place. Okay, well, let's go ahead and close this hive up. Cut. Reposition the damn tripod and get your, where you're in the camera, and then go from there. Now, what I have on my GoPro is there's an attachment, I guess you'd call it. It's a 2x2 screen that I put it up on where the flash would go. You slide that up on there instead of looking at that little 1 1/4 inch screen. I've got a screen about that big. It helps me. I can look at that screen and see myself pretty clear, and get myself centered up good that way. So that's the only
like the front display on a.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you. Oh, right.
That's why I can see my video going light and dark every time I look at the smartphone. It drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so here's a question: Has anyone made a penny from a YouTube video?
About that much.
A little bit.
It takes a long time to get paid, my friend. And it starts
figured.
really slow.
And the thing is, when you do get paid, you have to have a minimum of $100 in that account for them to do a payout.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay you 10 here, 10 there. So
Okay.
I might get a payout every 2 or 3 months.
Gotcha.
And it'll be
My
$100.
first year of monetization, I probably got paid maybe 2 or 3 times in a year. So that's $200 or $300 a year. And that's probably being generous. I was making like $10 a month for the first longest time.
Now, granted, the more videos you get out, the more watch time you get, the more subs. Yeah, you do build up.
The revenue definitely is exponential. It doesn't go up linear right? Obviously, the algorithm is the more people watch your videos, the more they'll suggest your videos. So the
There you
revenue
go.
definitely is a curve. The higher it goes, the faster it goes up.
No, it's not.
You got that new DJI, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then when you stop and take
a
a
word
break,
of warning too. Do lots of talking on your videos, or you'll get a note from Charlie.
What's that, Doug?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to.
I said, do lots of talking on your videos, or you get a note from Charlie.
Yeah. He told Doug, you should talk in your videos. I was thinking the same though, so it's not just Charlie.
Well, I mean, Doug was showing his equipment, and I kind of figured out what he was talking about, but other people don't know. It's just like did you watch my bale bearing farming video?
Sure did.
All right. Well, what I'm getting at was in that video, I mean, the guys like Ian and them, I don't have to explain anything to them because they know farming and all that. But that's why I said, well, this thing here with the teeth on, it's called the pickup. So I'm kind of dumbing it down for the ones who are just beekeepers are not farming it.
I'm
Don't
dumbing
have
it
to,
down for
don't
beekeepers.
farm.
Dumbing it down.
Gentlemen, that's exactly what he just said.
dumbing it down for beekeepers.
Well, and
Picking on you,
and
Charlie.
then and try. It was kind of a hard thing for me to explain what an inline baler is versus like a New Holland baler, like what we have.
Charlie, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm raised on a farm, and you were always saying inline baler, and I'm thinking, why is he saying that? And in about 2 seconds when you showed that thing, I thought, oh, okay, it's like a round baler. It's a square baler, but it's an inline like a round baler.
Yeah, a normal baler, like a New Holland, has that pickup off to, if you're looking at it from the tractor, off to the left.
Yeah.
Or off to the right, actually.
It's to the right. Yeah.
To the right.
Look,
And it brings
the right.
Before I forget,
the one thing you didn't explain, Charlie, is what happens when you break a bale inside that bale bearing.
Actually, you watch it, but when it goes around that circle thing, you can catch it. It'll I don't know what it is, but they had a couple of them there break, but they caught it and all. I do know on the bale bearing they had them lollipops up on top up there. When that thing ties, all four of them go up in the air and then they come down if everything is okay. But if one sticks up in the air, it's missed a string. So,
now, if one gets stuck, you get a few extra words that YouTube might not like.
That's right. That's where editing comes in. And I know Joey's on a bit of a delay. He had something important he wanted to share with the iPhone. So I think we should give him the floor.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Joey.
knew something was going on because nobody was hearing me.
What did you want? What did you want to say, Joey?
What I was going to tell him, if he uses the iPhone, go into the settings and camera and change it from 1080 to 4K. When you're recording, you can always once you export it, you can export it back to 1080 for YouTube. But it makes it so much easier if you need to zoom in. Like when you see that queen, you can actually zoom in with the cropping, and it'll do pretty good. If you record at 1080 and then try to zoom in, it's going to be real blurry.
That's what I do. I record everything on my GoPro at 5.3K, but I render it out at 1080. So technically I can zoom in 5 times and still have 1080 quality.
Yeah. Now, I've been doing 2.7 on this new camera because I'm already having trouble with it overheating in this Louisiana summer. So I don't know.
Out of the several years that I've had GoPro, I've only had it turn off one time.
My GoPro never did. That 04, I had that Hero 4, and it did great for years, but it finally just bit the dust, So
yeah, I had the 4. That's the one that I gave to Mike Berry, and then I have the 10 and the 11 now.
I want to throw in and suggest, all of these are good tips and everything. But, your question was, how do you get started on a YouTube channel? You turn your camera on and start talking and start
Right.
showing something that you think is important to you, and then you'll attract an audience that feels that's important to them. And all of the high production stuff, whether you got a fancy camera, you should have decent audio. That's the biggest mistake that any YouTuber can make, is not put enough effort into audio. Video is easy, and you can have video that's 480, but if you have poor audio, nobody's going to watch your video because you can't stand
That's
to
right.
listen to it.
If they can't understand what you're saying, they just turn you off.
Right.
Right.
So
So
the most
concentrate on that.
important
If you're
thing
going to
is,
put money into something, put money into a microphone. And
Yep.
again, you can put $40 into a microphone and get something decent, something that's going to work. If you want, a little more, different features and that sort of thing, then you can. I've gone through so many different microphones, it's crazy. But I've had this Rode Go 2 for a couple of years now, and I really like it. So that's my advice. And you just got to find your place. You can't.
What's that, Brad? What did you say it was called?
It's Rode Go 2, and the
RO
2 is II, RODE Go,
Okay.
and it's II for 2. And it's 2 because it's 2 micro. That's what
right there.
Lee is showing you there.
That's probably going to be my next purchase as far as recording stuff.
Yeah, I really like
And
it.
I bought the one the mics that I have. I actually found them in a Best Buy store instead of off the internet. It ain't cheap, but
No,
Now, do you have
a couple
you have
hundred.
a pretty decent computer?
Yes. Yes.
You're going to
now
need a bunch
how
of
would you
external
hook
hard
those
drive.
up? How would you hook up to it? Let's say he's going to start out with his phone. How would he hook that up to that?
Well, they've got cables for anything, and the cable that I need didn't come with the Rode microphone, and because my phone actually has an 8-inch mic jack, like for audio out and microphone, so I had to get a special cable that Rode makes. You just, it's just an optional cable. You can also get the cable that plugs right into the. Of course, you got an iPhone, so I don't really know how that all works, but it plugs into the port.
I
But you
airdrop all
can
my
research
videos.
that to get the correct interface.
Yeah,
on
depending
that.
if you have the lightning cable on your iPhone or the newer USB-C on your iPhone. If you look at Rode's website, you can buy a cable that goes from lightning to USB.
I
Okay.
think the Rode that I bought came with the USB-C.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my other phone, the phone that I use, they're both Android phones, but this one, that's my actual phone. It doesn't have an audio jack. It just has the USB-C. So I can use that, my Rode, but I need the different cable that I don't always carry around with me. I'm usually carrying the.
Any of you guys find the bees don't like your camera?
Yeah, they don't like the fuzzy.
Yeah,
cat on
the dead cat on top
Yeah.
of those things. That's another. That was the first thing you'll learn with that little dead cat.
Put it in your veil.
Put it on the inside of the veil.
Yeah, that's why you'll see it on my hat, and I always have it in the veil because the bees will attack that sucker, and all you hear on your video goes boo.
Yeah.
And the whole damn video.
Yeah, it's terrible. And this one, it picks up pretty good. I don't know if I guess it was my last video, my last vlog, when I had Jordan out. You could hear him talking. You could tell he was quieter than I was, but I didn't have him mic'd. That audio from Jordan is just picked up through the mic that I was wearing. So it actually picks up pretty good.
They don't. Bees don't seem to like black cameras, black microphones, tinted glasses. They don't like
The electronics too. I have to be careful when I fly my DJI drone that I don't fly low over my apiary because the bees just attack it. And it gets covered in bee juice.
bee juice.
It's the thing is filthy. It's awful because I learned that the hard way.
Now, one thing I'm gonna do here for you, Ryan. You didn't have no subs a while ago. I subbed to you, and then somebody else did. If I had to
Oh,
guess,
there
it's
we go.
probably DC. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop your link to your
you
YouTube
go.
channel in the
Yeah,
comments
go
here.
ahead, do that.
That way
I'm
you'll
fixing
get
to
some
go
subs,
I
and
appreciate it.
that'll
that.
make you
I'll-
get out there and
I'll
make
get-
us some videos.
DC is the only person I know of. Any stream that I jump on, it doesn't matter. It could be a Chinese beekeeper. If I jump on his stream, DC's already in the comments before I
Yep.
get there.
Were you down what Calvert County, Ryan?
Charles.
Charles?
Yes, sir.
All
I
right,
just
I'm
for
in.
your sub too.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to. I'm trying to get in with the vice president or Diane is the president of our club down here for the Tri-County. So I go there and speak, and I mean they think it's interesting that I'm a 30-year-old beekeeper. I've been keeping bees since I was 14, so they think it's interesting. They're
Why,
all
because they're all old or something, or what?
oh yeah, they're all 60, 70, 80 years old.
You've been a beekeeper a lot longer than I have. That's awesome.
I've lost a lot of bees too. I've just figured it out probably 3-4 years ago.
Well, we should talk. I still
Yeah.
haven't got it figured out.
I didn't know what a mite was until probably 4 years ago.
Well, I'm getting that really to figure it out, you need to get with the mites.
Yeah.
And,
why-
and I think my biggest enemy is the fact that I'm kind of getting old and running maybe more colonies than I should. And it's
Yeah,
I always say it's a self-aligning thing. If you run too many colonies, the system will align itself for you.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
what-
that's
You're not old for another 25 years, Brad.
so you're only as old as you feel. And I feel pretty damn old.
When I first started, my two mentors, and still to this day, they're treatment-free beekeepers. So that kind of caught up with me after a couple years.
I see.
That they let natural swarms happen, and they don't split. They're not honey harvesters. They're just natural free, treatment-free beekeepers.
No, they keep bee pets.
Yeah, but they keep a lot of them. It's just I'm more so into it for the honey, so
Yep.
I got to keep my bees alive.
Tell you what, I was to get back to beekeeping from YouTubing. I'll tell you what, the creamer, that's on point. I wish I would have had that from the beginning. Now, because it's almost just like having creamed honey on. Well, it is having creamed honey on tap, right? So if I need a flavor, I'll fill up my KitchenAid with creamed honey, put the flavoring in it, mix the flavoring in, jar it up. If my creamer starts getting low, I just have to add more honey to the top of it, and it just keeps on keeping on. Works perfect. So
Is it a license you got, Bob?
no, I've got a Benka from Turkey. It's
Okay.
150 kilograms. So what is that? 300-pound unit or something?
Yeah. Heated
And it
or otherwise?
Oh, it's jacketed. Yep. But I don't have a need to heat really
Yeah.
at this point. But it's
All right. All right,
That's right.
Ryan, everybody's subbing. You got to get busy now.
I know. I see that. I'm like, shoot.
it's gonna have a video dropping tomorrow.
And
An
this
introduction video.
this is what happens. This is the community, Ryan. We're all, there's us on the screen here, along with everybody, at least 100 on my Friday night chat in the winter time, and we all support each other.
I'll tell you guys that the number one thing that was holding me back, and you guys might laugh. So I am semi-allergic to bee stings. So I wear my veil 24/7, which I have to wear. I have to wear my veil. And
Yeah, there ain't no big deal about that.
yeah, I see beekeepers, with no veil and no gloves, and I'm like, well, You know,
I gotta wear
I-
body armor.
No shame in PPE, even if you're not allergic and it's what makes you comfortable. By God, wear it if it's what makes you feel comfortable.
I look at it this way, Ryan. You only get 2 sets of eyes,
right.
and
You got
then
one set of eyes, Charlie.
Once
well, yeah, 1 set of eyes, 2 eyes.
well, I'm on my second set, so I guess that's not quite true.
That's right, you did. But the thing of it is, they're bees, and they're semi-tame, not much, but semi-tame. And you get in one of them hives like I've had occasionally where you open that inner cover up and they blow up into your face. You're damn glad that you got that veil
Yeah,
on.
I don't willingly do anything without a veil.
Not without a
supered my
veil.
2 out
Ain't no
yards
way.
yesterday.
You might go out there in the
Out yard.
wintertime when they're kind of like half froze
Yeah.
and just kind of open up a peak and then put it right back down. And then, you know,
Yeah.
you got to
Brad,
watch.
I've seen hours of your videos without a veil on.
Well, not wrestling through hives though.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, yesterday I supered 2 out yard, supered 52 colonies with no veil, no smoke, anything. But I was being careful. I've been very careful, and there was one that really lit me up. So, and I had the one out yard I had a veil, but that's all I had. But the other out yard, I wasn't planning to go there. But I got done at the first one and I thought, I'll just go to the second one. And I drove way over there. It's about 10 miles away. I drove over and pulled in. And then I thought, oh, yeah, I got no veil. So just got to be real careful. I often don't wear a veil just in the bee yard. But boy, I don't. If I'm not wearing a veil and I'm opening a lid, it'll be a nuke or a mating nuke or something pretty small. Yeah, I don't often open a real hive without a veil. I'm chicken.
When I first started, I was that guy, right? Barnyard bees. Oh, these are gentle bees. You don't need to.
Yeah.
I used to be that guy, and then it became playing Russian roulette because I'd have a pissed off hive somewhere in the yard and didn't know which one it was. So it's like, pull it open, you might get zapped, you may not. You know.
Yeah, somebody's still mad from yesterday.
Yep.
And you don't see the parts on YouTube where I run swatting bees out of my. I don't put that part on there.
I was about to say that was the part that was on the editing room floor. Huh?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm like, ah. I had one light me up yesterday, and I just edited that video today, and I kind of took that part out.
There's what I was talking about. Is this top piece here? It's an extra. That's what I'm looking at when I'm putting me in the center of the lens and stuff like that.
You got
Dude, how much is that? How much is that GoPro and everything, Charlie?
Oh, you'll probably drop, I don't know, what, $600?
Well, between the GoPro, that screen, tripod, memory cards, all that. GoPros, they usually run about $300 to $400 for the camera by itself. I mean, that's with a battery and
Just
all.
don't buy this one.
GoPro Max.
The Max. Don't buy the Max. I wouldn't.
When I went to the GoPro, I mean, I went over to what do you call it? Best Buy. Well, they didn't have nothing on the shelf. Just go to GoPro.com, right to the manufacturer to buy your stuff. And then what I did was I bought into their
The subscription plan.
for $50 or whatever it was. Well, the amount of money that you save that they knock off of everything that you buy, it's like it's no brainer, you know. I saved quite a few dollars.
I would suggest buying the GoPro itself and doing the subscription plan and then going back and buy like extra batteries, cards, stuff like that. You're going to get a big discount on everything. And with that $50 a year subscription, if you drop and break your camera, you can replace it up to twice a year. Now you're going to pay a little deductible on it. I think it's like $100, but you're not spending $300 or $400 to replace the camera.
But I got the camera, and then I know that Lee doesn't care for what's this thing? What's the module? The wraparound module.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think what it's called.
Well, that's what your camera goes into this module, and that's where the external screen hooks into. That's where your sound, your Rode microphones hook into. There's a clip for them.
Media mod.
Media module, yeah. The only downside, the thing I hate about GoPro is that if you're trying to change a battery or trying to change the card, you got to tear this whole damn thing apart because of them stupid, the way they got the
module.
The module, but they got the darn connection things for your tripod. You gotta.
Well, see, the way mine is on this, I got it in a case, metal case, and then all I got to do is press a button right here, and it'll fold up. I got access to my battery, memory card, and everything right there. And then I got a cold shoe on top to slide anything else on that I need.
Hey, that GoPro y'all got, does it have the same thing as this camera here, as far as like moving around when you're walking and you're not paying attention? This thing here is unreal. I rode a bicycle 40 miles an hour going down a hill at a campground, and I figured it was going to be shaking. When I downloaded that video, it was smooth as it could be.
Yeah. I think starting at like the 7 or something like that and 8 above, the GoPro stabilization was getting really good.
That's a gyro feature, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a built-in stabilization.
I like that GoPro. The only difference between it and this, and the reason I got this DJI, it does better inside my honey house than the GoPro does as far as the lighting.
Yeah. It has a little bit, the DJI Action Cam has a little bit bigger sensor than the GoPro, so you're going to get better low light quality.
But if you're going to be in your bee yard, I mean, either one's going to be fine for you, you know.
I don't know, Ryan.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I was going down a steep hill.
Brakes went out.
Yeah, one hand. You ever rode a bicycle going 40 mile an hour with one hand?
You have a speedometer on that thing?
Yeah, it does.
I don't know, Ryan. I mean, start it with your iPhone or whatever kind of phone you got, and use a selfie stick or something like that. Or if you got a thing that's like a little mini tripod or something. And I mean, you'll see a lot of beekeepers out there that they're just holding their iPhone or whatever.
Yeah, I can do the Bob Walker one hand.
That's it. Piss everybody off.
I know a very, very successful YouTube beekeeper who uses nothing but an iPhone, not even a microphone at all.
Yeah,
in most cases.
He ain't always holding a cup of coffee, is he?
He's often holding a cup of coffee.
Tim Hortons on it.
But to me, that he's kind of the poster child for the nth degree of that example. It's not about how much money you spend on equipment. You got content, and if they can hear you, then that's 90% of what you need right there.
And it's going to start out slow too, but just keep on making them. The more you make, the more it's going to eventually get out there.
Yeah.
Another thing on the iPhone, you can actually turn one of the speakers off. That way, if you don't have an external mic yet, you can take it off of stereo mode, and it's only going to be recording what's out front here instead of everything around you. I learned that just a few months ago.
And Bob's got a new iPhone. And that thing zoomed in like he took a picture of me at the stand at the.
No, I don't have. That's not an iPhone. Mine's a Samsung.
Okay, well, anyway, it was a newer model, and it had all kinds of zoom, clear. Hey, Nancy. So.
But the main thing is, it doesn't really matter, what you're using. You just got to get out there and start it, right?
Yep.
It's like everything else. You can make 50 excuses why not to do something. I'm the poster child for that.
Do they still have the free version of Filmora? Like the trial version?
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, I think it's still a 30-day trial.
Yeah, you could probably go with that.
It's got a probably a watermark on it, I think.
Yeah, if you export it, it does. But
I mean, it at least gives you a chance to play with the software, figure out how
Yeah.
to edit, and see what you think you look like. And if you ever want to change something, just because it's recorded and edited, don't mean that you have to upload it yet.
You would believe what I use for editing. And I don't know, maybe you would believe if you think my editing is pretty crappy, which I think sometimes it is. I use a product that's not even available anymore. It's called Movie Maker, and it was always the free video editing software that was included in Windows.
Windows.
And I had to search for it online so I could download the old version of it. Because
Now,
it's not a current product.
if you have like any newer version of Windows, you can go to the Microsoft Store on there, and they'll have some type of free movie editor on there that
They
you
do.
can use too.
They do have a new product.
We lost him.
I just don't know how to use it. And I know how to use Movie Maker. And Movie Maker does the only thing I can't do in Movie Maker that sometimes I really wish I could do is I can't play a video. I can't do a voiceover. If I try to do a voiceover, I have to convert the video to an audio track with some other software. And then I can add the audio track just like I would add a music track to do a voiceover. But that's the only thing that I really can't do. And yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad he dropped out there, but he'll watch us on the replay. I think overproduction is a little
off now, wasn't it?
Sorry, Doug.
You were breaking up there, Mr. Doug. What was that?
Did he freeze?
Yeah, I don't know.
Think
I
he
was
froze.
going to say I think overproducing a video with no
Yeah,
content.
but I said a Clipchamp, I think, is Microsoft.
Clipchamp is what you use. Yeah, it's Microsoft. I started just trying it just when I watched your video, Doug, and it seems like a decent product. It's kind of cloud-based, though, so you're always uploading. And for larger videos, I think it could be kind of slow.
Yeah.
when I bought this computer I
get
got,
fiber.
I
get
got
fiber
Final
optic
Cut with
tomorrow,
it.
so
I can't
maybe
use it at all.
Both Doug and Joy are on a delay, so it's hard for them to hear each other. Yeah, Doug's getting fiber optics.
we're getting upgraded
High
to
speed.
fiber optic tomorrow, so maybe that'll fix the delay.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
You'll be
Joy,
waiting on us to answer you.
I'll moderate. Joy's delay is really long.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe I need to reboot.
Well, maybe it's not so long. Go ahead and tell us what you were going to tell us.
Oh, when I bought this computer, this laptop I got, I bought the Final Cut with it, and I
So
can't.
you got Apple.
Yeah, and I can't figure it out. I wish I could, but
YouTube.
Filmora is just so easy.
Look on YouTube, Beginner's Guide to Final Cut.
I tried. I guess I need to try again.
Same problem. I've tried a few different free editors that are supposed to be really good, and I just sit there with a blank look on my face. I have no idea how to even start, and I have looked for tutorials and I have not seen enough tutorial to get me started with it. So I just default back to Movie Maker. Movie Maker works for me.
His battery died.
That was his first lesson. Make sure his battery's charged.
So Roy's trying to send a video. Roy, that's a good use for your YouTube channel. You could upload that video to your YouTube channel and set it as an unlisted video and just send the link to your son, and then he can just watch your video on YouTube. And it's not a video that's public. Nobody else can find it.
Yeah, whenever you upload it, you can tell it that you want it private, and then you get
Private.
a link and send it to your
Yeah.
children. But it'd be good too if we get to see.
Well, it's interesting content, which, if it's bees. I'm putting one up tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be interesting. It's just me supering my main yard. It's me, but you get to watch me lift probably, I don't know, 20 full deeps of honey by hand because I'm too lazy to walk back to the yard and get the hive lifter. Kind of stupid, but
You know what they say? Weak minds make for strong backs.
thanks, Bob. That's about the way. I'm halfway through this. I'm thinking, okay, I've lifted so many of these. Do I just lift the rest, or do I?
Now, what if you got a weak mind and a weak back?
Yeah, that's my
me.
problem.
That's mine.
This morning I could hardly get out of bed. It's like, oh God, I shouldn't have lifted all those.
I literally, when I'm starting to pull honey supers, I back my truck right in the driveway in between the two sides. So I just have to walk like 5 feet to drop a box on.
Yeah, I don't take them far. I'll just pull it off and just do a turn and set it down. I don't walk around with it.
Now, Roy, we watch Bob all the time.
Yep, that's true.
Well, if you watch my videos, that's exactly what you're seeing.
I haven't put out many videos this year just because I haven't wanted to be out in the bee yard long enough to film and then come back inside after I'm sweated up and
Setting escape.
and then edit.
Wow.
Well, I'm working on one of them videos now that's aggravating. It was 100. It was an hour. Once I downloaded it and chopped it up a little bit, it was an hour and 45 minutes. So I've been going through editing, and I finally got it down to like just under an hour. And I still
Maybe it should be a 2 or 3 part video.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
so.
Some people, they don't want to sit there for that full hour. And if they only watch 15 or 20 minutes of it, the algorithm on YouTube is going to show, oh, people's only watching a quarter of this video, so we're not going to kind of advertise it. But if you break that down into like part 1, part 2, part 3, then you're more likely to get more views on it.
Well,
I think over time you get an
it's
audience.
just extracting in the honey house, so I'm probably just going to cut a lot more out of it and then fast forward a bunch of it and everything. So
I honestly
get aggravated.
I honestly wouldn't watch a lot of my videos because they're too long, but but my audience will. My audience, statistically, looking at my analytics, my audience likes the long videos. So, they're going to get one tomorrow morning.
See, Ian is getting ready to start harvest.
Yeah,
We're going to be taking samples tomorrow and probably pulling by the weekend too.
When you say samples, what far as moisture content?
Yeah, moisture, Charlie.
You got any of those polystyrene boxes left over, Doug?
Yeah, I probably got about 25 I haven't put on yet.
Boy, I've been wanting to try some of those.
Be interesting to see how our yard works out anyway.
Yeah.
It'll give it a good test with singles and doubles.
I should just call them up and see what they charge me to ship a few.
Well, if I remember right, $1,200 for the pallet and like $1,200 to get it shipped here.
Well, I don't think I want a pallet, and it's not going to South Carolina, so.
Cost me about $1,000 to pick it up in Brandon at the truck depot, Brad.
Is that
if you get it delivered home, it's quite a bit more.
Is that a skid?
Yeah, 52 on a pallet.
Yeah, and I don't know if they would send just, I don't know, a dozen.
Well, they're already assembled. You don't assemble them, so you can't flat pack them.
I realize that.
Worker Hive in Calgary would sell you singles or whatever you need.
Oh, the manufacturer won't send less than a pallet?
I don't know whether they would ship a smaller quantity or not. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I just need to call them. I kind of thought there was going to be a trip between me and James this summer, is what I thought all spring. So I kind of thought, hey, I think I'll maybe try and capitalize on that. I thought James was coming out here to get a trailer load of equipment from the manufacturer here. And I thought, hey, I'll just slip James some money and we'll just put some polys on his empty trailer coming out this way. But those plans changed.
So
Yeah,
Ian's
that would
already
be the way to get.
Ian's getting ready to pull honey right now. And does Ian, do you rebox after you start extracting, do you put those supers back on or no? Or once they're off, they're done?
I think he puts them back on.
Yeah, you put them back on. I wanted to slip in, Joey, I watched your bottling tank video today. That looks like a nice unit. I was sitting there thinking, well, you got the wrench on that fitting. I was thinking, oh, don't do it too tight. You're going to strip it out or something.
I probably wasn't pushing as hard as it looked like because I got
Maybe.
rheumatoid in my wrist.
Yeah, maybe.
We put wet hives back on too. Wet supers.
You put the wet supers right back?
Yeah.
If it's still early season, we could put the wet supers back down here, no problem. But if it's late season, you try to put a wet one back on, you're going to start getting some robbing issues.
Can I, Mark asked a question I'd like to answer. No, I don't. But the dimensional difference is very little. The box is just 1/4 of an inch smaller. So the pallet is 33.5 wide. So you'd just take a 1/2 inch off of that. So you'd have a 33-inch wide pallet, and it's 21 5/8 deep. So take 1/4 of an inch off of that, 21 1/8. That would be the only change in dimensions for the US boxes, for the 3/4 inch boxes.
You got to work tomorrow?
Yep, unfortunately.
So one of the advantages, Ian and Doug, to be able to put those boxes back on, it really gets more pounds of honey through that box in a season, right? So you might go twice as much honey in that box in a season. If you use it twice, whereas my boxes cost me more money per pound because I only get one harvest out of each box, the way my flow runs. Even if I wanted to, I don't think I'd have honey that would be ready to harvest by the end of July. And then most of my flow is over. I'll get 1/4 of my flow in August. So my supers cost me more. I have, twice as many supers per pound than maybe Doug and Ian have.
Our second pull, we can quite often get as much as the first pull.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really a nice way to leverage your investment in equipment. You're welcome, Mark.
Ian has wondrous fields, DC says.
Wondrous.
Well, guys, we've been going for almost 2 hours now. And Lee has to work in the morning, and I need to be looking for work in the morning. So
yeah, I'll be working too.
So I think we're gonna go ahead and shut it down for tonight, and we'll see you guys on Charlie's on Friday night.
Yep.
And
Yep.
on Thursday
Ricky.
night over at Ricky's.
Horizontal bees on Thursday. If I don't knock my drink over here and kill the computer. But y'all
Right
have a
back.
good night. Thank y'all for joining.
Thanks, guys.
See y'all
Right.
later.